Hello world, how y'all doing? When I look at this Avengers situation, you know, you got Crystal Dynamics, you got Square Enix, you got Sony. You know, to me, this is a Square Enix and Sony issue. You know, because Square Enix, they were formerly known as SquareSoft, and SquareSoft and Sony had known each other since PlayStation One. You know, because Final Fantasy VII put PlayStation on the map. But ever since the Avengers game, the PC game, the Avengers game, the PC users had about a 30,000 user base. 30,000 user base, and then that user base dropped from 30,000 to about. It's from 30,000 to about it went to 972, and now it's down to 600. So this is a Square Enix and Sony issue. Remember Sony had the rights to Spider-Man, and they made Spider-Man for PS4, but Spider-Man used to be on multiple consoles before that. And since Square Enix and Sony have a long-term friendship or a relationship, Sony, went to Square Enix and put a time exclusive on Final Fantasy VII, the remakes, but then they turn around and then, the Square Enix and Sony put Final Fantasy 16 and made it a PS5 game only. So if Sony can do that to SquareSoft, then what does that say about about Crystal Dynamics? Because Crystal Dynamics is the developer, Square Enix is the publisher, and then Sony is the console maker. So, and then you put the Spider-Man situation, because they were trying to add Spider-Man to the Avengers, but they was going to do it next year. And then Xbox PC, they were supposed to had Hawkeye they were supposed to have Hawkeye, but they're going to do it next year. But they're still going to be updating the game. But to see the user base from the PC drop from 30,000 to 900 into 6 that's a huge drop off. So to me, the Avengers situation is a Sony and Square Enix situation. And I'm sure Crystal Dynamics want to put updates out, but they're being probably like forced into a corner, and now the user base is like dwindling. So when it comes to a live service game like that, you have to keep the ball moving. Games like the Avengers, Anthem, Destiny, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls Online, and Final Fantasy Online, games like that. You have to keep the ball moving. Anthem, Destiny, Elder Scrolls Online, the Avengers, DC Universe. You got to keep those games up to date, up to speed. It's a live service, and fans are expecting more. You got a huge following for those games, so you have to keep the ball moving on those games, man. And it's sad that the Avengers went down this route. Look at Anthem. They were supposed to release an update, and it's like they're struggling to meet headway. So one, they took too long to like release updates, and now they're trying to play catch up. We're 24 days away from next gen, and then with Destiny, Bungie got 3 expansions for it. They about to release one in November, 24 days from now. So yeah. When it comes to the Avengers, man, you have Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix. They got to keep the game going, because there's a lot of superheroes and a lot of villains in the Avengers universe, and there's no way the game should be underperforming like this. The only issue I had with the Avengers game is that I couldn't take Iron Man and fly to the top of the Ames building, or take the Hulk and jump up that Ames building with him. Same thing with Thor, so that was my main issue. So to me, the Avengers game issue is a Square Enix and Sony, because if Sony can get Square Enix to make Final Fantasy VII remakes, put a time exclusive on that, then turn around and do the same thing to Final Fantasy 16. You know, come on, man. To me, so this is a Square Enix and Sony issue, man. And more of this is gonna come to the light. You know, there's plenty of issues on this Avengers game, but the game shouldn't be underperforming like this, because you got Avengers fans worldwide, and they were looking forward to this game, and now they're disappointed. You got a 30,000 user base, but now it dropped down to not 600. Not good. Anyway, nice talking to you people. It's Chris. You know it's a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. The board, the dark side. I'm gone. Peace.